leader has been announced for one of campus's favorite coffee shops. Hello, I'm Justin Geck.
And I'm Nick Paleo. Looking for a summer internship? Well, we found one that will send you jet setting around the globe. We have all this and more coming up on LTV News, where the action never stops.
Hello and welcome to LTV News, where we bring you everything from 20th and Olney Avenue, Philadelphia, and the world.
There is a lot to catch up on in the next half hour, as Dave Roberts had the chance to sit down with an instructor of a new self-defense class for LaSalle's campus community for this week's interview. So let's hear the buzz around campus.
LaSalle's on-campus Saxby's at Founders Hall recently announced their new student CEO, with senior Emma Schweigart's time as the CEO coming to an end. Junior Chris DeCrisio will take her place. As the student CEO, DeCrisio will take on the responsibilities of overseeing the cafe while also coming up with new ideas about how to improve the presence of Saxby's on campus.
Attention all LaSalle students. Housing applications and roommate selection for fall 2019 and spring 2020 is now open. Application forms can be found on the LaSalle portal in the toolbox under Housing and Dining. Room selection begins March 6th for those looking to live in the townhouses, March 20th for those seeking an apartment, and general room selection will occur on March 22nd. In order to apply for and retain an on-campus room, townhouse, or apartment, students must be registered as a full-time student by April 6th. All full-time undergraduate freshmen and sophomores must live on campus. Some exceptions do apply. For more information, see the announcement on the portal.
The Association for Women in Communications is hosting an event called Climbing the Organizational Ladder, featuring special guest Shelley Canther. Shelley is a marketing and digital strategy consultant with the New England Appliance and Electronics Group. She formerly worked at Comcast Network and KYW News Radio. She specializes in brand development, public relations, and media and advertisement. The event welcomes all communication majors to come and get professional advice about working in an organization in the communication field. The event will take place on March 5th at 12:30 in the Communication Center.
It's that time of year again. The LaSallian Immersion and Volunteer Experience programs are hosting their 16th annual auction on Saturday, February 16th at 6 p.m. in the Union Ballroom. With dinner, an open bar, basket bidding, and silent and live auctions, this annual favorite is sure to be another success. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 at the door. Each year, this fundraiser benefits the domestic and foreign-bound alternative break service programs that the university sponsors to allow students to become educated about social justice, explore new cultures, and serve others around the world. For more information, contact University Ministry and Service. Tickets can be purchased online at lasalle.edu/live-auction. Justin, this is going to be another fantastic event. I know from personal experience that the LIVE programs are such great programs for students, very popular on campus, and just I've had great opportunities through these programs to travel around the country and do service and learn about social justice. So it's really a fantastic program.
Stuff.
In order to ensure the safety of its students, faculty, and staff, LaSalle is now offering a free rape aggression defense class for the women in our community. Dave Roberts had the chance to sit down with organizer Jeffrey Bard. Check it out.
So Jeff, can you tell us about this RAD program that's coming to LaSalle?
Sure. The RAD program, or Rape Aggression Defense Program, it's a self-defense program that was originally designed for women. And the big difference between this and a lot of crime prevention programs is the fact that it's a hands-on program. There's actually a physical component to it. And it's a national, international program that's taught all around the country and throughout several countries in the world. So it's the same program. Experts have designed the program to be easier to learn without a lot of ceremony. So it's been really successful. I've been an instructor for 25 years now, and have probably taught hundreds of women self-defense. I've also become certified in the men's program, which is reducing aggression with defense. And both of them are targeted towards the different ways that women are attacked versus the way men are attacked. So they're very specific in that target, the women's program for the women's and the particular issues in the way that they're targeted, and men specifically for the way that they're targeted.
Now, I know there's been a lot of robberies that have been happening on LaSalle's campus recently. Do you think this program will really help with just, people trying to protect themselves, or even if people that feel a little scared going outside at night at a certain time? Do you think this program will help them just to be more confident, just to be able to walk around campus, or just be able to walk around outside of Philly?
Well, pretty much from my experience with the program, and I know that's been echoed through a lot of other instructors, anytime people become more aware of potential vulnerabilities, it usually transfers over. I mean, rape aggression defense was designed about defending against rape and rape aggression, which is primarily being abducted. But we rarely see people who've been through the program victimized in other ways, and because it's the awareness. We don't just stick with that. There is a risk reduction part that reduces the risk for rape, but it also reduces the risk for crime in general. It definitely builds confidence, but I think for a lot of people, what it also does is it really makes them more aware of everything that's happening around them, the potential. So I think that there are definitely some positive aspects for it, but it really doesn't change what you do if you're confronted with a robbery situation or an armed robbery situation. We're not looking at teaching people to fight off an armed attacker or anything like that. It's mainly about rape aggression defense, but we see positive effects through all aspects. I mean, whether it's in the home, people more likely to keep their door locked, not open their door unless they look through the peephole first. It's just overall awareness definitely gives people skills to live a little bit safer.
Now, you said you've been an instructor for 25 years, and I know there's a lot has changed in 20 years, obviously. What have you seen change, and just at least in the program itself, or your teaching styles in itself?
Well, probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen is cell phones. I mean, realistically, cell phones could be good and they could be bad. Obviously, they are a way to be able to summon help. I mean, through the great Rave Guardian app, you essentially have a panic button in your hands all the time. One of the problems that we see, for some crimes, street crime, for example, as the idea of the phone could be what's attracting someone to you. So to have that out isn't a positive thing. So we've talked about the aspect of how to use Rave Guardian safely for a woman, to make sure it's still a resource for her, and to open up the app and to have the phone in your pocket, not out in your hands where it's visible, because we want somebody to have that ability to notify someone, to call someone. That's something other than emergency phones we didn't have 25 years ago. We have that access right now, but we don't want them to be more vulnerable to something like a robbery because of it. So some of the little things that we teach them is opening up the app, knowing where that emergency button is on the phone, being able to press that even when the phone's in your pocket and not out visibly.
Now, I see we have some pads here from your
The tools of the trade. This is, typically what's called Muay Thai pads in martial arts. Oftentimes, the Muay Thai pads are just used for block and parry drills, as well as some striking and kicking motions. So we'll use these tonight in our first class that we're running for the semester. We'll be getting these pads out tonight. We'll be using these pads as we talk about blocks, parries, striking motions. The larger pad is one of the developments in 25 years. It used to be just a square pad that was oftentimes used for martial arts. And what RAD has done with that now is by adding the top piece to it, you know, it creates more of what an attacker looks like for somebody who's going to strike the head, body strikes, kicks, and things like that. So this is one of those innovations in 25 years. I find it much more effective to teach the RAD tactics using a pad like this rather than just a smaller square pad that was traditionally used in martial arts. So there's also a number of different stand-up pads that are used. They're all things right now we're kind of just reintroducing the program to LaSalle. Apparently it has not been here for quite some time. So we're just trying to assemble resources to be able to purchase a lot more of the equipment that could be used for class, but these are the basics that are used in every class.
How long usually do your classes run for?
Well, that's one of the challenges that we have to teach people a physical skills program. It's 12 hours, and if you do a realistic simulation at the end of it, which is an attack type scenario where trained aggressors are dressed up in padded suits, that's a 15-hour course. And I'm sure you know from how busy you are throughout the day, to sit down to a group of people and say, hey, we want to commit to, we want you to commit to 15 hours to come to this. We're giving Wednesday night a try. We're also open to other suggestions to teach it. I've successfully done RAD weekends. I've done it as a phys ed class. I've done it a number of different ways. Last year we tried every week of the semester for 1 hour. By the time you get warmed up and ready to go, that's not ideal, but that gives people the ability to miss 1 or 2 classes and still be able to make up the work. It's a little bit tougher. We're going to do a 15-hour course in consecutive Wednesday nights from 5 to 8 p.m. So we'll see, if we can get the turnout for that, get everybody attending every class to be able to complete the whole course. So, but again, it's always a challenge. We're open and flexible and looking at different ways to address the challenge.
Well, I really hope that a lot of people go out for this because I think it's really important, and I think it's a perfect time, at least right now, for people to just be more educated on how they can defend themselves in certain situations like this. So thank you for coming on and talking to me about this, and I'm going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks for having me.
Justin, I'm so glad that we had this interview this week because, as you know, and as some of our viewers may know, our campus is currently having quite an open debate about public safety and the safety of our students. So I'm glad that this specific resource was highlighted on the show because that's been a common theme for students to really use those resources. Well, it's time for our first break, but coming up, we reveal a potential big change that is in the works for students in the city of Philadelphia. Stay tuned.
Tell me you didn't watch the Phillies game last night.
Unfortunately I did, and it was just so heartbreaking to see the first 8 batters strike out.
Claude Giroux hasn't done anything for this organization.
I'm confused. You're doing an internship in sort of marketing and production, right?
I really can't believe that Ben Simmons won't be dropping threes on the court this year.
Hey, Tanya, I know you're really busy, but could you tell me who the Sixers play on October 28th? Doctor, in order for the Eagles to win this week, they're going to need 250 passing yards from Carson Wentz. We're going to need 100 yards rushing. I don't care who it is. We're going to need a lot of good production from our tight end and wide receivers. And I'm going to need 5 interceptions from Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, Mom, look, I know the money situation isn't good right now, but I promise you Travis Konechny's going to have a breakout year.
Hey, I had to climb to the top of Mount Everest to find Nick Pavetta's ERA.
Sports Talk Philadelphia. We talk nothing but sports all the time.
Welcome back to LTV News. Having the option to pay with cash or credit is quickly becoming a thing of the past, but that may change sooner rather than later in Philadelphia. The City Council is working on a bill to ban cashless stores. Democratic Councilman William Greenlee is very vocal about the bill and claims that it will help people from different economic backgrounds, whether they live in the city of brotherly love or just visiting. Greenlee says, quote, "It's all about being fair, and in the poorest major city, multiple businesses do not accept cash," end quote. If the bill is passed and businesses violate the bill, they will be fined $2,000.
Philadelphia schools might be pushing back school times. Unionville-Chadsford became the first Philadelphia school district to push back their start time to 8 a.m. in order for students to get some more sleep. Recently, Phoenixville Area School District is on the road to a time change as well. After conducting studies on how much a 25-minute difference would affect the students, the outcome is unanimous. Teens are paying more attention and are not driving drowsily to school. Students are loving the idea of starting school at a later time, but parents may not be seeing eye to eye due to their work schedules. But as time goes on, more and more schools are considering the change, and some are even waiting for the day their days will begin at 8:30.
Philadelphia is known for its rich African-American heritage, so it is no surprise that the city of brotherly love is taking part in numerous celebrations of Black History Month throughout February. At the National Constitution Center, you're invited to learn about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution and discover the achievements of African Americans in the We the People permanent exhibit. At the Philadelphia Free Library, the calendar is full of a variety of Black history events, including book discussions, author appearances, hands-on history lessons, and a bus trip centered around African American poetry. If you are interested in art, there is a special trolley tour from Mural Arts Philadelphia that will specifically highlight prominent African Americans while educating visitors about the making of a mural. For a complete list of Black History Month events, check out visitphilly.com.
The iconic Amtrak Flipboard at the 30th Street Station is set to return with an upcoming remodel of the transit hub. The Flipboard, which had displayed departure times since the 70s, was removed at the end of January, prompting a public outcry from the people of Philadelphia. In response, Amtrak is now working with architects and developers to find a new home for the famous fixture within the main hall's new modern and accessible design. Until then, Amtrak is sticking to its plan to install Wi-Fi connected flat-screen monitors that will display departure times at each gate.
You know, Nick, I'm glad to see that this sign is going to live to see another day. I've always loved the Amtrak Flipboard when I would go into 30th Street Station to travel. It's iconic.
Yeah, it almost evokes the sense of nostalgia, and I know that,
Yeah.
you know, as I had said, Philadelphians were up in arms about this.
Right.
And now they're bringing it back, so it's great that they're paying attention.
Well, after this last break, a popular Florida theme park is taking back the concept of the character meet and greet to a whole new level. Stay tuned to find out what we're talking about. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Hawaii is looking to do its part in the fight against cigarette smoking through quite an unusual approach. Legislators in the Aloha State are now working on a bill that will make the legal minimum age for purchasing cigarettes 100 by the year 2024. Lawmakers believe that the bill, which gradually increases the minimum age for the purchase of cigarettes beginning in 2020, will allow them to fulfill their responsibility of ensuring the continual health of Hawaii's people. The only apparent drawback to the measure, should it pass, is a decrease in tax revenue, as reports state that Hawaii gathers $100 million from cigarette sales taxes alone.
After 11 years, Washington, D.C.'s museum will be shutting its doors. The Journalism Museum was bought out by Johns Hopkins University for a reported $372.5 million. The Pennsylvania Avenue site will become host to several of the university's graduate programs. The museum garnered thousands of visitors annually, but struggled financially in its later years. Owners of the museum say that they are planning to keep a portion of its collection and are hoping to relocate to another area of Washington, D.C. The museum will be open until the end of 2019.
Do you have what it takes to be a shore explorer? On February 4th, Royal Caribbean UK posted about the new apprenticeship program on its Instagram page, targeting the ultimate experience hunter. The company is looking for a, quote, extraordinarily talented content creator with a thirst for travel, unquote. The employee will work under the Instagrammer-in-chief for a 3-week apprenticeship from May through August of 2019 and will travel to 6 different countries. The job pays 6,000 euros along with a 50 euros per day stipend for daily expenses. To qualify for the position, one must be 21, use Instagram daily, and have a, quote, unyielding hunger for amazing experiences and daredevil nature, unquote. The application deadline is March 1st.
This is a job I would really mind having. I love travel.
Yeah, you get to travel, to all these different places, and you get paid, and you get money throughout your time to like spend on things. So I'm telling you, for all you guys out there who are looking for internships, check this one out. So, all right. On the other side of the Delaware, the Cherry Hill Police Department in South Jersey experienced a large turnout for their handwritten selection exam, where recruits put their knowledge to the test. Justin had the chance to get in on the action. Check it out.
We're at Cherry Hill High School East in New Jersey, where the Cherry Hill Police Department is currently holding a handwritten exam for over 1,000 applicants that applied to become the next Cherry Hill police officers. This is just the first step into the selection process of what it takes to become a Cherry Hill police officer.
Trying to see who's really interested in the job, who can follow instructions.
These are the faces of eager applicants who want to advance and become Cherry Hill police officers. The Cherry Hill Police Department did an aggressive recruitment effort which brought in over 1,000 applicants. On this day, officers are using different intimidation methods to see if applicants are serious about the process.
The purpose of putting that stress on them is that being a police officer is an extremely stressful position. They can't handle a police officer walking up to them and speaking to them in line about what they're wearing, about how early they arrived, about the way that they're carrying themselves. They're not going to be able to handle a stressful position as a police officer when someone starts yelling at them in the public. We need them to maintain their composure.
The handwritten exam that the applicants are taking is a basic police knowledge test, which includes math and reading comprehension. The department values the Cherry Hill community so much that it invited community leaders to observe the process. Rabbi Larry Cernovitz talks about what the community is looking for.
We're looking for people who have love in their heart. And you can see that, you can understand that. That when you have somebody who cares about a human life, about an individual, that's somebody who we want on the force. Somebody who understands that it begins with love, it begins with understanding, and then the conversation goes from there.
Chief Monahan wants residents of Cherry Hill to know this about the process.
The members of the department, our staff and the officers that you see here work really hard to try and cast a very wide, large net to pull the best applicants and the most highly qualified applicants into the township.
The next time we'll see some of these candidates is in March, when the physical part of this exam is administered, right here in the Cherry Hill East Auditorium. We'll bring you that when it happens. For now, reporting from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, I'm Justin Gick, LaSalle TV News. Nick, this was a really great story to be a part of. This is the second time I've covered when they've done this event, and this is such a great thing they're doing. The chief really wants everyone to know that they really want to get the community leaders involved. So that's why you saw like Rabbi Larry there and all. So it really was a great story to be a part of.
Fantastic, looked awesome. Well, now it's time to move into our favorite way to end the show with our segment, hashtag
Trends.
What's Trending. All right, Justin, take it away.
All right, well, on February 9th, newlyweds and longtime lovers alike traveled to Las Vegas to say I do in traditional Sin City style, but with a slightly caffeinated twist. Dunkin' became the newest chain restaurant to offer a place for folks to tie the knot and their one-day-only pop-up wedding chapel. Everyone's favorite donut chain offered Dunkin' decor, bling, and an Elvis impersonator with Dunkin' pink hair to officiate. If that's not enough, Dunkin' offered more sweet and sugary madness with donut bouquets available for the first 100 couples. The company announced that the event was, quote, a huge hit, as plenty of people showed up to get some sweet treats to go along with a lifetime partnership, unquote. Well, this is really interesting. I can't imagine having a Dunkin' Donuts wedding.
You were saying earlier you wouldn't get married.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would never do that.
All right,
no.
So we'll count you out on that one.
Absolutely.
All right. Next trend. Universal Orlando has introduced a new character with an unusual quirk to its lineup of mascots who roam around the park. Guy Diamond, a character from the animated film Trolls, who is famous for his glistening gas, has joined his fellow trolls at the theme park. Yep, you heard that right. The mascot does indeed fart glitter. A video, check it out, has surfaced online of the trolls performing a song and dance for guests, climaxing with Guy letting go of his twinkling toot. Reaction has been mixed on social media. Some see Guy as a welcome addition to Universal's kid-friendly amusement park, while others are a little disturbed by his most interesting feature.
That's hilarious.
I kind of want to see this in person. This is really
Yeah,
interesting.
definitely.
Yeah, I'd have to check this out. All right.
Well, that just about does it for this episode, but be sure to find us on the web as well as the rest of LaSalle TV on our Facebook page. We love to hear your thoughts, so tweet at us using our Twitter handle and start the conversation.
If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes on YouTube on our LaSalle TV Philly page. Until next time, for Justin, Dave, and the entire crew, I'm Nick Palayo. Thanks for watching LTV News, where the action never stops.